Well, welcome back. Still got the RMK behind me. Sadly, and just kind of stuck in the middle waiting for parts on the RMK right now. Just having some carburetor issues and just odds and ends, but things are just kind of on hold for this. And I've been on the old marketplace lately, and I haven't bought nothing because I can't afford to buy nothing. I'm not buying anything, but that doesn't mean we can't trade stuff. So I came across something I'm very interested in and started thinking about it a while ago and messaged the guy, and we've been working out a deal, and he might be interested in another vehicle that I have. So I think I'm going to be embarking on a little side quest here of getting another project for this summer. It is something that I've never found myself interested in, but really like how this one is set up, so I really want to pursue it. The guy's interested in the trade that I offered him, so I need to get that vehicle in the shop and fix a couple little odds and ends on it, and we might be getting ourselves a new project out of it. So I don't think I've ever shown the vehicle I'm going to trade on camera, and I don't think it's ever been seen in the background of any of my videos, so this is going to be pretty fun. I'm going to bring you up there right now. We're going to clear it off, and we're going to get her in the shop here in a little bit and start talking about what we got to do to it to potentially trade it for another project. So let's go check her out. All right, as we come around the back side of my storage shed here, you will see this is quite the contraption. This here is a 69 Land Cruiser that was cut. The cab was moved forward and re-welded up, and this little truck body was made onto it. It's got a hydraulic ram on it. It's all electric hydraulic pump motor assisted, if that was the right terms to put it in, I guess. I don't know, but it's got its own hydraulic pump that runs the ram, so that's really it's a fun little deal to play with. Looks like, hope that's, yeah, that's just moisture on there, but so yeah, we're gonna be getting this thing in the shop. The clutch is currently not working. That's the main item we need to fix on it, and then maybe adjust the brakes a little bit. But possibly going to be trading this here in a couple weeks, so get this thing in the shop here and start having some fun with it. I've never worked on it. I've owned it for about 2 years now. Played with it in the yard a little bit here and there until the clutch went out, and it's just kind of sat since. And I actually forgot the clutch went out of it when I offered it to the guy for trade, so here we go. Time to jump down a side quest here and see what we get out of it. Alrighty, we got ourselves a Land Cruiser in the shop, so time to start playing around. Lucky enough, already got myself new slave cylinder, so time to just start investigating and bolting parts on and hoping for the best on this one. So gonna see what happens. Alright, it is time to dive into the Land Cruiser here this morning. Decided to let it sit overnight and thaw out and just fully drip off. I'm glad I did, because there was a puddle last night right where I need to lay. So our slave cylinder is right down there. Probably hard to see, but a little tricky to get to. It's right on top of the frame, so it's gonna be very hard to film. I'm just gonna crawl down there and see what I can start doing, and I will check in with you along the way as I get close to where I need to be. See what happens with it. Well, had the slave cylinder all installed and realized Forgot to put the hose on because it's a thread-on style. And then I realized it's a different thread pitch than the old one. Identical parts, so that's good. But I gotta go find an adapter now to make it so I can thread in. So quick intermission for that. Be right back. Well, this might be a rabbit hole mission, but I need 10 by 1 to 7/16 20, and in my head that does not sound like an adapter that the parts store is just gonna have, so I might have to get creative on this one. I will definitely let you know, but we're gonna go and start finding out. But yeah, in my mind that does not seem like a in-stock fitting or one that even exists, so go see what I can figure out and check back in here in a little bit. Alrighty, so I ended up getting pretty lucky. I didn't find adapter fittings to work at it, but our local Advance is sadly kind of ish going out of business. Well, they're going out of business, sadly on the ish, but I went through all their stuff and I was able to find a couple sections of rubber line here. So, turn it around here. So, I found a couple sections of rubber line. This end here is M10 bubble. It'll thread right into the new slave and hopefully work. And then this end here goes down to 3/8 24. So we're gonna have to come over here and find out down on this end right here what thread pitch that fitting is. And I bought a bunch of different fittings because hey, they're going out of stock. So I just stocked myself with every single common brake fitting that I'm probably gonna need for the next, probably next 8 months to a year if I'm lucky, but yeah, it's gonna last me a while, and this is gonna save me a lot of money down the road because I paid $20 for this whole dollar. I paid $20 for this whole box, those lines, and even got a fuel tank for a vehicle that I don't need it for. But hey, we got a fuel tank, lines, and stuff for $20 because they're going out of store. I think it was 80% off. So in car guys' mind, you can justify anything at those prices. So, gonna start trucking along here, and might have a clutch here in a little bit. Alrighty, got myself all figured out here, so luckily my box of fittings, I am able to do whatever the hell I want now. So we went down to being able to just use one line, put an adapter fitting in here, and we're going to go make a new hard line, which was on my bench here right in front of me right there. I got to reuse this fitting up here, which is amazingly still movable on the line. So got to use this one because it's a 7/16 by 20, and there's no part store that stocks a 7/16 by 20, so at least near me. So gonna reuse that one. This here is now 7/16 24 on this end, so that I can now make a new 1/4" line to connect this to the master. So that is my plan, and gonna keep trucking along. Alrighty, we are all bolted up. New slave cylinders on there, and there's just no good way to look at it, but it's right there, straight ahead of you. Got a new line made into our master, into our new rubber line, and ready to put some fluid in it and be good to go. And I'm gonna show you a way to bleed if you're by yourself. You can do 90% of clutches like this, so let me get it set up here and show you what I do. Alright, all ready to go here. So what I like to do is take a chunk of vacuum line, go down there, slip it over your bleeder, crack your bleeder open, and then you just put it down to the bottom of your master reservoir, fill it up, and then you can pump your clutch pedal, and it just does a push-pull method with bleed in it. So I've always had really good luck doing this because most of the stuff I do is by myself. So gonna do her up on this one and let you know what happens. Move my cardboard in case anything decides to pop or not work here. Don't have to make a mess of it. Alrighty, master's topped off, so all you gotta do is pump her a few times. For the best. At least it's close enough, and for the firewall, I can pump it and watch it from right here. Yeah. We got a line leak, it looks like. I wasn't sure. Okay, they're leaking out of that line right there. My flares did not come out the best, so. Tighten her up a little bit more. I might have to redo this line though. I'm not the most confident in the flares. This one already started leaking here a little bit, so I don't think tightening her up is gonna do a whole lot for it. So also helps me use the right wrench. Maybe I don't know what the right wrench is. Alright, well, pump it a couple more times, see what happens. Ooh. Yeah, it's still leaking. And that's without pressure, so. Looks like I gotta redo those flares. So, I kinda thought that was gonna happen. Not a big deal. I will catch back up if I make some better flares and get this bled. Alrighty, was able to get some better-ish flares on my line here, and just got her pumped up and have confirmed that it is working. So time to fire it up and make sure that, you know, it actually is working. I don't see why it's not going to, but we're going to test it, of course. So Everything's good. All right, cool. We are now good to go. Gonna look into the brakes here slightly now and see if I can come up with a conclusion for that, but I do not plan on fixing the brakes. So, clutch was the main thing we were after. We have a clutch again, so time to start doing some messaging and see what kind of deal I can put together here. Well, been doing some messaging with the fellow I'm gonna do a trade with, and it looks like we are all good to go, and we are going tomorrow. Like, I didn't expect to go this soon, but me and Brandon are gonna work on getting the Land Cruiser out of the garage here. We already got the plow for it pulled up. Probably should have filmed that, but oh well. I never think of things that I should film when I should film them, but it was film worthy. Same with moving this in here, but oh well. Either way, we are gonna keep trucking along, get this thing out of the shop. Alrighty, we are all ready to go. We are not driving this out of the shop. I do not feel comfortable driving it out with my driveway being a hill, so this has no brakes. We're gonna push it out controllably and get it moved over to the side of the garage here. That way tomorrow morning it is ready to be loaded onto a trailer. So hopefully this goes well. Usually does, so why will it go bad this time? Right, Brandon?
It'll be fine.
Just because I said it now.
Yeah, you ruined it. You jinxed it.
Alright. Oh no, where? I set my gloves down. There they are.
Steer.
Yep. Do you have e-brake handy? Yeah, grab that e-brake. Yeah.
Universal e-brake.
Yep. You ready?
Ready? Do you have it in gear?
I think so. It might be. Yeah, I think it was in gear.
She's gonna go quick when she gets the slope.
Yep, I got her by the fender well here. So hopefully she don't go too fast.
Oh, that's too bad.
Pretty light. Maybe easier to get behind it. Same. Oh, we made it.
For how small that thing is, it's kind of hard to move.
Well, we got no traction. Yeah. Alrighty. She is outside and ready to roll. There's our dragged path from the plow. Kind of hard to tell. But yeah, this thing came with a little plow that somebody made into a snow pusher for it, so I'd imagine it probably worked pretty good. This thing had tire chains and all that for it and whatnot, so probably was a good little unit, but I don't need it for a plow vehicle, and this guy actually wants to use it for his property up in Michigan, so it'd be cool to see this thing go to somebody who actually wants to use it and actually put it to work on their property like I wanted to, but haven't done. So Stay tuned. Tomorrow is going to be very exciting. Alrighty, we got the Land Cruiser all loaded up. We're ready to go find out about our potential trade. So it is freezing cold, not too sure how much of this we're going to film, and I don't really like filming at people's houses too much, so next time you see us, we might have a new object on the trailer, so wish us luck. Up the driveway she comes. We'll talk about this in a little bit. We got a little bit of work to do to get this thing unloaded, so new project. Oh yeah. All right, I'll do some explaining in a little bit. Alrighty, well, welcome my new to me 92 Chevy Blazer. This thing is pretty darn cool. It has a 80s Ford Dana 60 under the front of it. It was in the process of being built into a mud truck. It's got a 04 2500 14 bolt rear with disc brakes in it. Got to re-weld up all the shock mounts for that, get them lined up and figured out, and get a lift blocks in the rear so it sits level. And it is a full roller, no engine, no transmission, even though it did come with a transmission. That's that blob laying right there, but not sure if we're going to use parts of that or not for it, but we will see. It's fully all stripped out on the interior also. It has a roll cage through most of it, which is very cool. That's what this whole roof rack up here is. It's all integrated into the roll cage. Got some finishing work to do on that. No big deal. Got all the interior panels in here and all good to go. So this is going to turn into a major project for me this spring. Yeah, I'm going to be swapping in a 4.8 LS and a 5-speed into it that I have laying around, and making this into my ultimate daily driver. Straight axle swapped Chevy Blazer, so be a lot to look forward to on this.